Welcome to the lecture for Basics of Biblical Hebrew, Chapter 28, the Pual stem. Now, the Pual stem is the passive counterpart to the PL stem. So if the PL stem is intensive action with an active voice, the Pual stem is also intensive action, but with a passive voice. So whatever a verb means in the PL stem, it becomes passive when it's inflected in the Pual stem. Let's look at your screens together and see how this translation works. You see three examples on your screen: the perfect, the imperfect, and the participle. Let's begin with the perfect example. Here you have in the first example, ketel, the PL perfect 3ms, meaning he slaughtered. The example right below that, kutal, is the Pual perfect 3ms, and it means, or is translated, he was slaughtered. Look at the translations. He slaughtered, that's active. He was slaughtered, that's passive. Including the form of the verb to be, was, makes this a passive translation. So in English, we make a verb passive by adding a verb to be in the construction. In Hebrew, they can use the nifal, or now the pual, for the passive counterpart of the intensive stem, the PL. Let's go back to your screen. The second example is the imperfect. The imperfect PL, 3MP, yakatlu, is translated, they will slaughter. But now look at the Pual imperfect 3MP, yakutlu, they will be slaughtered. Look at the translations. They will slaughter, they will be slaughtered. In the passive translation, they will be slaughtered, a form of the verb to be is included in order to make it passive. Number three, the participle. The PL participle, masculine plural, mikatalim, slaughtering. In the Pual, mikutalim, being slaughtered. Look at the difference. Slaughtering, active, being slaughtered, passive. That's how the Pual stem works. The PL is active. The Pual is the passive counterpart of the PL stem. Well, now that we've worked on the basic translation value, let's look at some of the most common verbs in the Pual stem. Look at your screens. One of the first things that we can notice on this screen is that the Pual stem verb does not appear that often in the Hebrew Bible. In fact, if you look at the most common Pual stem verb, shadath, at the top of your list, it only occurs 20 times in the Pual stem. Look at the last example on your screen, kasa. That particular verbal root, kasa, only appears 7 times in the Pual stem. So the Pual stem is what you would call a minor stem. It doesn't occur that often, but it still does occur with enough frequency that you've got to memorize all the different component parts and its meaning. You'll notice as you look on your screen in some of the translations, for example, let's go back to the top, shadath, you can see its meaning in the Pual stem is to be devastated, the passive, be devastated. Look at the next example, tsara, tsara. In the Kal, it means to be afflicted with a skin disease. In the Pual, to be struck with a skin disease. Look at the form barach. In the PL stem, it means to bless or praise, but in the Pual stem, it means to be blessed, to be blessed. Look at the fourth example, halal. In the PL stem, it means to praise or sing, to sing hallelujah, but in the Pual stem, it means to be praised or be praiseworthy. So you'll observe that the passive translation is consistent in the Pual stem when it corresponds to the PL. Now, how do you distinguish between the PL and the Pual stems in terms of diagnostics? Let's look quickly at your screens again. You will remember back in chapter 22 when we were studying the Kal passive participle, I mentioned that one of the things that marks a passive verb in Hebrew is a U-class vowel. So with the Kal passive participle, the Shurik stem vowel marked or was diagnostic of the passive participle. Well, once again, passive forms in Hebrew are marked with a U-class vowel. You will see in each of the examples, the perfect, the imperfect, and the participle, the U-class vowel kibbutz in each form of the Pual, where you see another vowel in the PL. That U-class vowel marks the stem as passive. Let's look at the examples together. In the perfect, kittel, you have a hirik under the first root letter, followed by a dogish forte in the second root letter. For the Pual, kut tau, you have a kibbutz under the first root letter and a dogish forte in the second root letter. First, like the PL, all Pual verbs have a dogish forte in the second root letter. It's one of the factors that relates the PL and the Pual. the doubling of the middle root letter with the Dogish forte. The distinguishing factor is that U-class vowel in the pual. Look again at your screen. It's I-class in the perfect under the root letter, and it's U-class in the perfect for the pual under the first root letter. Now look at the imperfect. In the imperfect, you know that the three diagnostic features of the PL stem is schwa under the preformative, comets under the first root vowel, and Dogish forte in the second root consonant. Schwa, pathic, forte. The pual imperfect also has three diagnostic features, but they are schwa, kibitz, forte. Schwa, kibitz, forte. The difference between the pathic under the first root letter and the kibitz under the first root letter distinguishes the PL from the pual. Finally, in the third example, the participle, mikkatalim or mikkutalim, once again you'll see that the vowel under the first root letter distinguishes the PL from the pual. The PL has the A-class vowel, pathic, under the first root letter. The pual has the U-class vowel, kibitz, under the first root letter. It's that simple. A-class in the PL, U-class in the pual. Now here's the thing. In the pual, the U-class vowel under the first root letter is consistent for every conjugation. It's consistent for every conjugation. Now here's some more good news for this chapter. Because the pual stem is an infrequently occurring stem, there are not a lot of forms that appear in the imperative, the infinitive construct, and the infinitive absolute. So in this chapter, we're not even going to cover those three conjugations, and we'll focus only on the perfect, the imperfect, and the participle. So now let's look together at the pual perfect. Let's look at your screen. You'll see on the left side of your screen the pual diagnostics in the box for the pual perfect. You'll see the kibitz vowel under the first root letter and the Dogish forte in the second root letter. Now if you go over to the right side of your screen and you see the pual paradigm, kut tal, kut tala, kut talta, kut talt, kut talti, you will see in that entire paradigm from the 3ms to the 1cp the kibitz under the first root letter and the Dogish forte in the second root letter. Those two diagnostic features mark the pual stem. They're very easy to see, so the pual strong verb is very easy to identify. If you've mastered the PL stem, the pual stem is going to be making one change. You're going to be moving from the I-class vowel in the PL to the U-class vowel in the pual. And the names themselves, PL, I-class vowel, pual, U-class vowel, in the name itself, PL and pual, will help you to remember what the distinguishing features are in each stem. Let's now look at the imperfect conjugation together for the pual stem. Look at your screen. In the box on the left side of your screen, you will see the diagnostic features of the pual imperfect strong verb. Schwa under the preformative consonant, kibitz under the first root letter, Dogish forte in the second root letter. Schwa, kibitz, forte. Now in the PL stem, the diagnostic features are schwa, pathic, forte. So the only difference, the only new thing you're learning in this chapter is that the vowel under the first root letter for the pual has shifted from A to U. Look at now the pual conjugation paradigm on your screen. Yakut tal, tikut tal, tikut tal, tikut tali, ekut tal. You can see throughout, you've got the schwa under the preformative consonant, the kibitz under the first root letter, and the Dogish forte in the second root letter. The diagnostics are consistent and easy to identify, and so the pual stem for the strong verb is easy to identify, especially since you've already memorized the PL, so you've already memorized 66% of the diagnostics. But what's changed is the U-class vowel for the pual stem. Next, we can move to the pual strong verb participle. Look at your screen again with me. In the box on the left side of your screen, you're going to see the major diagnostic features for the pual participle strong verb. Again, schwa under the preformative or prefix consonant, kibitz under the first root letter, and Dogish forte in the second root letter. Now for the pual participle, you'll also see the mem prefix that marks this form as a participle. Now we've talked about that in the PL stem. In the PL stem, we began to see the mem prefix marking the participle. It marks it in the PL, the pual, the hifil, the hofal, and the hithpile. So this is the second stem we've seen the mem prefix marking the participle. Look back at your screen. We'll look at the pual inflection for the participle, mikkut tal, mikkut teleth, mikkut talim, mikkut taloth. You will see consistently appearing in each form the mem schwa, kibitz under the first root letter, and Dogish forte in the second root letter. Very easy to identify the pual strong verb for the participle. Let's just look by way of summary at the participle prefix in the derived stems to reinforce the consistency with which the mem prefix marks the participle in the Hebrew stems. Look at your screen. You'll see following the nifal stem that the piel, the pual, the hifil, the hofal, and the hithbael all take a mem prefix in the participle inflection. Recognizing that feature consistently throughout all of these derived stems will make identification in the long run easier. You'll see how these forms are related and how they mark the participle in Hebrew. Finally, we can look at the last screen together. This is the screen that just summarizes the diagnostic features of the pual stem in the perfect, the imperfect, and the participle, and then we're done. Look at your screen with me. Here you'll see a summary of the pual strong verb diagnostics for the perfect, imperfect, and participle. Let's read these forms together. Kut tal, yikut tal, mikut tal. Now the most important thing about this particular image on your screen is recognizing those features marked in red. Those are the diagnostic features that make the pual the pual. So how do you identify the pual perfect? Kibbutz under the first root letter of the verbal root, dagesh forte the second root letter. Those two diagnostic features also appear in the imperfect and the participle. And in the imperfect and the participle, you'll always see the vocal shawah under the participle prefix or the imperfect preformative. That's it for this chapter. It's very easy, very simple. Once you've memorized the PL stem, the pual stem follows nicely. And since there aren't that many forms to learn for the pual stem, we've eliminated the imperative, the infinitive construct, and the infinitive absolute. So you're really only dealing with 3 conjugations here. When we move on to the pual weak verb in the next chapter, it's going to be very much the same thing. Most of the pual strong verb diagnostics will appear in the weak verb forms. We'll only have to worry about those pesky 2 guttural verbs. I'll see you next time.